Hello people of YouTube, Kite here, and welcome to a brand new series on the channel. It's been a little while, and hopefully soon I can start doing this kind of thing more regularly. To start us off, we are going to start a new series that will be running alongside Resident Evil of Dark Souls 3. Now, I do want to establish that I have hopefully fixed, the echoing issue I've had in some of my other videos where when characters are talking, their voice would echo back and forth. You know, you would end up hearing it multiple times. Why am I explaining echoing? Anyway, but that being said, this is a brand new playthrough of Dark Souls 3. It'll be my first, and I don't know if it'll be my only playthrough or not. I may do another playthrough at some point for fun, maybe doing a challenge run of some kind, I don't know. Always possibilities, but for now it'll just be an ordinary playthrough of Dark Souls 3, and hopefully it'll be fun, and I really hope that I have fixed the echoing issue. You logged in multiple times earlier, how can you fail now? Anyway, we'll be starting a brand new game of Dark Souls 3.
Yes, indeed. It is called Lothric, where the transitory lands of the Lords of Cinder converge. In venturing north, the pilgrims discover the truth of the old words. The fire fades, and the lords go without thrones. When the link of fire is threatened, the bell tolls, unearthing the old lords of Cinder from their graves. Aldrich, Saint of the Deep. Farron's Undead Legion, the Abyss Watchers. And the reclusive lord of the profaned capital. Yon the Giant. Only in truth, the lords will abandon their thrones. And the unkindled will rise. Nameless, accursed undead, unfit even to be cinder. And so it is that ash seeketh embers.
One thing I have always loved in this series is these opening cinematics. They are always amazing, and I would love to know who does the voice acting, because that creepy old lady voice is really, really cool. Anyway, starting off with our character creation and everything, and I'm actually going to try something different in the Dark Souls game. I rarely ever try pyromancies, and I have an idea for what I want to do with this character. So a pyromancy build sounds great to me. I don't know. I guess a fire gem would be a good thing to bring with me. Upgrade a weapon with fire after I get to where I'm going. I never put too much time into building my characters in this game because you never end up seeing them. The only thing I really care about is changing their, where's it? Face details, that's right. Hair and facial hair. Let's see, let's drop the hair down. Let's go for a semi-dark green. I like green. So we'll go with that. Hair-wise... Yeah, let's go with this one. Kinda cool looking. And pupils. I really do like the way they do the pupils in this game, mainly because you can be fairly unique with them, honestly. Yeah, let's just go pure red eyes. One eye being really big. Excuse me. And one eye being blind. Dang it. I've been sneezing a lot here lately. But let's go and let's move this down over the eyeball. Let's make it just a bit bigger. And if we change the color to being, say, a somewhat... Oh no, let's go pale. I want it to be like a dark red. No, actually, let's go dark blue. So it's like it's a magic burn. That'll work. Alright, so we have our character. Let's get into the game. Yeah, like I said, I don't usually go too deep into the customization. Mainly because usually the armor will cover up your character, so you'll never really see their face unless you choose to. Which I usually choose to go for armor more so than being able to see the face of my character. In the grave we will arise. Because this is how almost every Dark Souls game happens. You nearly die or on the verge of death and you come out of nowhere. Ain't that fun? I'm really hoping that my voice is being picked up well. I hope I'm not speaking too quietly. So, yeah. The Cemetery of Ash. This is gonna be fun. Just like in every Dark Souls game, you have signs that'll tell you what the controls are. Ugh. I'm having trouble speaking at the moment, but that's nothing new. Sorry if my nose is kind of it's been doing this for the past few days. Let's kill you. Pick up the ash and Estus flask. Ugh, I really cannot speak today. More enemies to kill. They're all relatively weak. So there's a path over here, but we will go back to that later. And I mean quite a lot later when we're quite a bit stronger. Because it's almost certain death going over there. If you've got extremely good skill at this game, you can take it out at this level, but I don't think I can take it out, at least not with the Pyromancer class. With a different class, maybe, but just not Pyromancer. So we have our first bonfire and our first gesture, which is cool. And now we shall continue on our journey. And we make the leap of faith. Ooh, Titanite shard. Always nice to have Titanite. Also die. And we are at the end of our first journey already, as we have our first boss fight. We simply have to unimpale him. And this is where things start to get fun, as we have our first boss fight against none other than Yudix Gundyr. Now, unlike in the other Souls games, where magic has certain uses, magic does not have uses in this game anymore. Instead, it actually uses a magic gauge, like the first game in the series, Demon Souls. Only difference is, you can't grind up the items required to refill your magic, or your magic is refilled with the Ash Nestus we picked up at the Fountain of. Yudix can be kind of a dick, but it doesn't make him hard to fight, especially not as a magic user. Honestly, if you choose a magic user, Yudix is pretty easy to fight. I feel bad for anyone who chooses Thief class for their starting class, because he's really hard to fight with just a dagger. I mean, you have a bow too as the Thief class, but it's not the most useful thing in the world. But I'm mostly playing through this game running off the idea that most people who are going to be watching this will already kind of have a general idea of what Dark Souls is. So, I mean, the game's been out for a while and its final DLC comes out next month. Part of the reason why I wanted to play it for you all. That, and I just love the series. Whee! Firelink! And now we take the sword from the guy's chest and plunge it into the bonfire. Our central bonfire of the game is lit, as we have reached our main base of operations. And man, am I always happy to see this guy. Hey, Andre!
Well, a newcomer, I see. I am Andre. I serve at this shrine as a humble smith, forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I'd wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith, such is my purpose.
This is exactly what Andre does. He will upgrade your weapons and infuse them with power. Such as giving me a fire axe, if I wanted that at this point. But I'd rather wait till I got a better weapon than this axe. Hand axe is not the best weapon in the world. I'm just gonna skip through what she says, because she's just basically saying, here, come to me when you want to level up. I'm here to serve you. That's literally all she says, basically. And this is in all honesty where things are going to get tough with doing a pyromancy build. Pyromancy characters require both faith and intelligence, which is what's going to make using this character a bit more difficult than a normal character, like a normal knight or thief or whatever. But there is a trick that can be helpful if you can get it done. I probably won't do it my first try, and we'll probably be here for a little while, but the item you get is so useful, it's worth it. Ah, I almost did first try. Basically, if you sprint at this tree at just the right angle, you can climb the tree and jump with the jump button, which is sprinting and pressing R3, or you can change it to the Dark Souls 1 style jumping if you want to in the settings, depending on what you prefer. This was one of the few features Dark Souls 2 added that I really loved. Dark Souls 1's jumping was really annoying, and I've gotten very used to Dark Souls 2's. It does not make this jump any easier though. Dang it. It's always such a tricky jump, but the item up here is so useful it ain't even funny. Well, it's really useful at least for the early game. Late game, only useful during grinding. Yes. Homeward Bones are also nice. Anyone who's ever played Dark Souls has probably come across one of this item that I'm going to go get now, and they know how useful it is. Don't care, Pickle Pea and Pumperump. Those are the crows of this game. Those unacquainted, crows are basically special allies in a sense. Basically, you give them items. If it's the right item, they'll give you another item in return. This is what we came for, though. This is Covetous Silver Serpent Ring. Anyone who has played Dark Souls before will love this ring. It increases the number of souls you gain, which is your experience and currency. It will increase all souls that you gain by at least a little bit. It's not an insane amount, mind you. You're not going to put on the ring and suddenly start getting 100 souls per enemy kill. But you will start getting a decent increase, and the stronger enemies are better, give you more, and you have a better bonus. This lady, she will sell you a variety of items. As you bring her items known as ashes, she will continue to get more and more items in stock that can help you on your journey. At this point in time, I am not really sure what kind of weapon I want for my character. One thing I do know is I prefer swords to axes. So as long as I can use the short sword, I will. But I will have the axe on hand in case I need the extra damage. Because the short sword is still weaker than the axe. So now what you'll want to do is sit down at the bonfire and travel. But we actually don't want to do that because I just remembered we got the Estus Flask Shard. Estus Flask Shards are used with Andre to give you more healing items. Well, this will give you more Estus, which you can choose to put either in your magic or your health. For this character, we're going to want a balance of the two. We're not going to want too much health, but not too much magic. Otherwise, we will die. A lot. And my goal for this episode is to just get to the second bonfire of the first area, the High Wall of Lothric, which you can only get to from Firelink Shrine via using the teleport. So, yay. The Black Bow of Ferris. Very useful weapon. Depending on your build, of course. And standard bolts. Useful for crossbows. So I'm hoping to keep these videos at a maximum of 30 minutes at most. Maybe 20 at the least. Depends on how quickly I can get through parts of the game. Because if I get through areas rather quickly, then I don't see no reason in having 30-minute videos. But if it's going to take me some time to get through, then I'd rather cut the episodes down to only 20 minutes. I'm going to come kill this jerk. And you could be an incredibly big jerk and kill all the innocent people around here who are doing nothing but praying to the dragons. To the dead dragons, that is. And you can walk up and kill them really easily. But there really is no point. They don't give you a large soul increase. They're actually not really worth much souls at all. So I usually just ignore them. Let them just kind of wallow in their praying, or whatever you would call it. It looks like praying, but also kind of looks like begging. So I don't know which you would really call it. Yay, backstab! Backstabs are always nice. And I need to hurry. The thing is with these lantern wielders, if they scream, all of the enemies around here will be alerted. And they will stand up and try to swarm you and attack you. So it's nice to rush in, kill the lamp wielder first, so that you don't gotta deal with all those enemies. And fire. Binoculars are here if you want them. They're not that useful in this game. Also, jumping down is probably a bad idea. I'll keep the fire out. We'll jump down here, where we will find some lightning pine resin. Lightning pine resin is useful in this game. Ooh, item. I almost forgot that item. How could I forget that item? That's why. Just fire bombs. Which aren't bad, don't get me wrong. They just aren't the most useful thing in the world. So we're gonna probably make it to the bonfire rather soon. Whoa. Might have to scratch that idea. Ow. Okay, and in this part, you just kind of want to make a run for the door. This is by far the safest route past everything. If you can time it right. If you cannot time it right, you will die to the dragon really easily. And that guy's going to follow me all the way up here. Or not. Cool. But why pass up? Why pass up the sense? We just saw there is a weapon art. Another new feature of this game, where basically for a small amount of the focus points, which is the magic gauge, you can use certain abilities and whatnot with your different weapons. With the pyromancy glove, which is what I'm using here, it's a small short-range fire attack. Not as powerful as something like Fireball. It's not the weakest thing in the world either. But Lothric Knights. Usually a really big challenge. Really easy to kill with fire. Honestly, I didn't think he'd go down that easily. But we do need some more magic points. And in all honesty, oops, wrong button. We don't have much further. The next bonfire is just up those stairs. So I guess we might as well go get that bonfire real quick and end the episode here. Like I said, I only wanted to get to this bonfire, and that happened a lot quicker than I thought it would. But magic is always OP at the beginning of the Souls games, and often can become a hindrance once you start getting to the later portions of the game. No offense, but the magic in these games starts to become less useful when the enemies get faster and smarter. Which isn't saying much for the AI of this game. The AI ain't the smartest thing in the world, but they aren't stupid either. So I guess with that, we will wrap up this episode. I hope you all have enjoyed, and I hope that we might be able to continue this, provided that I don't have to re-upload again, or re-record. Depends on how well this went. So we will just pop a squat here, take a rest on our adventure, and I hope to see you all return for the next installment of our adventure through the lands of Lothric. And if you are curious, that dragon can technically be killed. You can't really kill him. Once his health drops to a certain point, he'll disappear. Well, not disappear, he'll fly off. And he won't come back. But it's rather dangerous to kill him. So, yeah. But I hope to see you all in the next video. So long.